जैसे कि मेरे भाई के टाइम पे अटेंड किया ना दोनों का टाइम मैंने ऑनलाइन भी किया ऑफलाइन भी 9th में था वैसे कहते हैं
last shift I get you आयुष कोहली ये आयुष पाटिल ऐसा कैसा हमें एक साथ क्लास करने का 9th की क्लब इसलिए एक्टिविटी
मैंने एक और शेयर करा
ये बात की है
मराठी है हिंदी का है उस ब्रिज के नीचे सर और अगर कुछ ऐसा हो गया तो मुझे ठीक है
अगला नंबर का
अरे मुझे का नंबर तो तेरे बाद में देता मैं दो नोट्स
अभी दे दे बेटा
हां मैं दो नोट्स भी लाया
हां मैं भी आया तो बड़े भी
आप पढ़ बैठे हैं ग्रुप है ना आप उसमें से आइडिया कर सकते हैं
वही अपना
स्कूल
कौन सा
आर्मा
नहीं हो
क्या हमने सुना कि ओके
साथ में कोई टाइम का मुझे बता
नहीं
हां 2007
हाँ एक्चुअली उसने शायद एक ग्रेड उसका वो एक साल लेट आया जब उसका आना चाहिए था तब वो नहीं है तो कब आया कौन सा चार तेरा
626
628
हां फिर 626
नहीं ये दो में डाले वो स्कूल टाइम वाला ही है हमारा स्कूल टाइम में यही रहता है ये दो में डाले
वर्ल्ड वाइड यही टाइम है ये कंप्यूटर टाइम
हाँ यहाँ पे दो में डाले इसके
सेम भी होता है
ये देखना दो में डाले अब इधर ये उधर साइड में और इधर नाइन में
अब अपने स्कूल में कैसा एवरेज स्कूल है कैसे ओ हेलो
अरे रुद्र आ जा अंदर आ जा आजा अच्छा तू उसको जगह देगा पड़ेगा मैं जब आता तब नहीं देगा अब तू इधर बैठ तेरी शिक्षा के लिए
आगे जाओ तो फिर चढ़ते जाओ
अरे अब बैठने देगा उसको
क्या करोगे रेस्टोरेंट
अब पहला दिन भी शुरू किया
ना फिजिक्स है ना
आज फिजिक्स और मैथ
मैं वही आया
तू किससे आया
ऑटो अकेला बर्थडे पार्टी क्या कर रहा है वही दिमाग
अरे उन्होंने दिया
ऑफिस में क्या
अंकल
कोर्स
कुछ नहीं
साथ
मुझे भी कुछ
क्या ना
देखिए
फोन का बोल रहे थे और जी क्या
मेरा
हां मैं
उनका मैं नंबर लेके
मुझे आगे दे
ओए
एक मैसेज जो को बता ना दे
भाई
मेरा स्टडी करना क्या करना बता
नहीं नहीं
नहीं पूरा पूरा कोड नहीं
नहीं आयुष आयुष मदद
मैं बहुत
आयुष के
कौन लिख रहा है
इसको मैं स्पेलिंग आती है और मुझे करना है
कौन लिख रहा है
हाँ
आयुष के
ये सच में इधर है ये मुझे बंद करने देगा सच में इधर तू आया किससे इतना जल्दी
ये तेरा नंबर पहले दे दिया 998797876
सुना मुझे इसका मतलब वाला फोन है ये लिखा कि हिस्ट्री का सीट्स की और मैथ्स को जनरली हिस्ट्री का सीट्स की मोटी लिखा है हिस्ट्री की कुछ ऐसी होनी चाहिए और मैथ्स की कुछ ऐसी ना हिस्ट्री
मैथ्स का ही वॉल्यूम 1 और एक और वॉल्यूम 2 भी है समझा ये हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी पूरा एक है और ये ज्योग्राफी
नहीं आपको अच्छा ये पूरा
वॉल्यूम 1 का मतलब हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी और वॉल्यूम 2 का मतलब ज्योग्राफी और फिर ये 98
ऐसा भी कैसे किया
आ रहा है और ये
अरे नहीं
ऑनलाइन में सब
पापा की गाड़ी में है I would say charity. There was it's a great Ayush के अंदर शिक्षा नहीं आएगी करना और ये वहाँ है ये किसका नहीं दे तेरे हाँ बोल रहा है स्टैंड अपने क्लास में क्या आंसर लास्ट ईयर ये मेरे बाप ये मेरे पापा है ये बहुत करना है मेरा ऐसा
ICSE?
Yes, sir.
Also, yeah. So,
Sir, I didn't work that video.
वो notes के क्या है अपना नाम बता दो
सातवें स्कूल में
anybody else who haven't got it अपना अपना नाम बताओ कितने हैं count ले लो
4 ले लो क्या नाम है शीर्षक विचारे साथ में
रिपीट
right there then look at the keep mark look at the keep mark
yeah it's fine government has already relaxed it right so it's up to you okay so we'll be starting with the first chapter of physics which is measurements and experimentation. So what is measurement? Let's begin by exploring this. What is measurement?
Sir, yeah.
It's fine if you don't have it, you pay attention. Right. So what is measurement? Right. So what is measurement according to you? Of same type, right? So we compare a given physical quantity with some standard physical quantity of the same type, right? So it is comparison of a given physical quantity right, with some standard physical quantity
So we have to write this.
of same type. Yeah, it's better. Have a habit of jotting down everything on the board of same type.
Basically, market and our
Yeah, it's okay, but what will you do in the exam?
So
It's better that you have the writing habit. So last 2 years have been online learning. So I don't know what has happened to your writing practice.
so we have to make sketchbook or this.
Anything, whatever you are. Right? So example of physical quantities. So everything that we discuss has to make sense to you. So does it make sense to you? It is comparison of a given physical quantity with some standard physical quantity of same type. So first write down and then give the example. So what is a physical quantity? So example of physical quantity. So give me example of most basic physical quantity. Which is, it's a unit, it's not physical quantity. What is the
1
physical?
kg.
Mass is a physical quantity, right? Length is a physical quantity. And time, right? So length, mass, time. These are the most basic physical quantities which you come across on a daily basis. Right? Because if I want to order construction or fabrication of this table, I have to specify the dimension, which is its length, height, breadth, right? Then if your mother sends you to market to pick up groceries, you must know what quantity, how much of vegetables, how much of food grains you have to pick up. So mass. Now you have to return, come back within 2 hours, 3 hours. That also, otherwise you elope and take your own sweet time. These are like very basic physical quantities. So we need to be familiar with the physical quantities and we should also know how to measure them. Okay? So basically to measure all of these physical quantities we require instruments. Right? So there is a need, so in physics, right? There is a need to measure these physical quantities. Quantities. हाँ? I think हाँ 22 तो लिखा था शायद पहले से ही हो रहा है. There is a need to measure these physical quantities. Okay? In physics. Right? It being experimental science. So physics is an experimental science wherein we'll be dealing with measurement of various physical quantities so that we can present it in terms of data for further analysis. Right? In experiments, we basically do data analysis. We have to measure those physical quantities and present it, right? Or report it. So is the need for measurement understood?
Yes.
Okay. So how do we measure any physical quantity? To measure, we need a unit. Unit is a standard reference, right? So to be, yes. What is the
Meaning
of?
of the definition.
Okay. So the meaning is, so let me first define unit and then we'll come to it. Okay. To measure physical quantities, we need unit. Right? Which is a standard reference for a given physical quantity. Okay. Now let me explain the meaning. First you write the unit. So let us say this table is 2 meter. So if I say the length 2 meter, right? So what it means is this length is 2 times of meter. That's the comparison. So if you know what is meter, then you know that this table is 2 times meter or 2.5 times meter. Understood? So that is the comparison. So this is the factor which is these many times of the unit.
Okay, so that's the standard physical quantity is meter and
Yeah.
the given physical quantity is 2 meters. So
Yes.
we are comparing meter.
You are comparing the standard, you are comparing the given physical quantity with the standard meter. Yeah. So you need a scale, right? How do we measure any length? We need a scale, a meter scale, right? So have you understood now? Does it make sense? It is comparison of a given physical quantity like this table, right? With some standard physical quantity like a meter scale, right? And scale measures length only, so that quantity is also of the same type. So for mass, we can compare it with some reference mass. Time has to be compared with some reference time. Okay. So then we will repeat it. How many times of that reference? Is that clear? So measurement of a physical quantity is expressed as say Q is equal to NU, right? So Q is our physical quantity and it is expressed using two things, the numeric value and the unit. Okay, so where Q is the physical quantity, so Q is physical quantity and is numeric value or magnitude and U is unit. So we have explained what is unit. Unit, not units. Unit is a singular thing. It's a single thing because it's the repetition of unit. So you can't write unit itself as a plural. Okay? So you cannot have meters. You just have meter. 2 meter. Right? So 2 times meter. Okay? So like example, two meter, 10 kg, and 20 seconds. Okay, S is second for length, mass, and time. The most common physical quantities are given.
The S is second.
Yes, second. SECOND. Yeah. Kg is kilogram. No, who decides what is 1 meter? How much amount is 1 kg? What is 1 second? Who decides that? Right? Because so we since childhood we are told that this is meter. So what is a meter? So there has to be a standard definition for it, right? So let's understand it. So far everything is clear, right?
Yeah.
So every country has a Bureau of Weights and Measures. No, what's the spelling? BEAUR. Weights and measures. Just verify the spelling. And measures. Okay. So they basically set standards. I said unit is a standard reference, right? So there was some conference in 1960s in Paris, France, where the heads of Bureau of Weights and Measures of various countries got together and they agreed upon what would be a meter, what would be a kg, what is a second, right? So decides about the standard units of measurement. Okay. Okay, it is these people who decide about the units of measurement, right? So now let us understand what are the types of units. So there are two types of units basically. The types of physical quantities. Okay. So there are two types basically, fundamental quantities okay. The most basic three I have already told you. What are they? Length,
Mass,
mass,
And time.
and time. These are the most basic physical quantities. Then there is temperature. You have electric current. Okay. Then you have what else you have? You have amount of substance. Right. Then you have luminous intensity. Right.
Yes.
Okay. Then there are two supplementary quantities, plane angle and solid angle. 9 is solid angle. So these are all fundamental quantities. Okay. So there are various systems of units. Systems of units. Right. So you have a French system which is CGS. You have a British system which is FPS, foot pound second. Then you have a metric system which is also called MKS, right? So these are the old system of units.
so, plane angle and solid angle are,
Plane angle, solid angle.
you just told that plane angle and solid angle are
Supplementary. But here also, so these 7 are fundamental quantities. These are 2 additional supplementary units. Additional units. Yeah. So CGS, these are old system of units. But now we follow what is called as SI system. International System of Units. In French, it is written as Système International Unit. So acronym is SI. In English, it is International System of Units. Okay. So now we follow SI system of units. Okay. So in SI system, length is measured in meter and symbol is M. Centimeter is in CGS system. This is the old system. Centimeter, then you have gram, then you have second. Here you have foot, then pound, LB, and second. Okay. MKS में you have meter, kilogram, and second. Okay, this is the metric system.
What is that? Yes.
Foot, pound is LB, and then you have second. Second is same across all. Then here you have, but no, we are not following the system, we'll be following SI. The whole world now follows SI system. Some countries still follow that.
So in FS, M stands for
Huh? F is food,
no sir, M in FS.
M is meter only.
And S also second.
S is second everywhere, small s. Centimeter is cm. Okay? This is gram, then second. This is foot, pound, second. It is the symbol for pound, LB. Then you have meter, kilogram, and second. Okay? Now in SI system, we now, these are all SI symbols, SI unit. So, SI unit. This is also SI unit, full form, right? This is SI symbol. This is the physical quantity, fundamental quantity. Okay, understood? Length, mass, these are all fundamental quantities. Here SI unit is, full form is written as meter, symbol is M. Mass full form is kilogram. And this is kg. Every unit is written in lower case unless it is the name of a scientist. If it is the name of a scientist, then the symbol is in capital letter, but the full form is still lower case. Like if it is Newton, it will be written as small n E W T O N, but symbol will be capital N. Okay? Yeah. So time is second.
Times hours.
Second. SI unit is second for time. Temperature is Kelvin. Now Kelvin is the name of the scientist, but it will be written as lowercase. Small k, full, but here it will be capital K. This is how it is. What about electric current? Again, ampere is the name of the scientist. But here you will write V. Okay. Amount of substance is mole. Have you heard about it? You will hear about it. Mole. So it is basically a unit used in atomic world. Like right now in the physical world, like macro world, okay, everything is visible, but atoms are invisible, right? So when we deal with so many atoms, we take a unit called mole, which is like when we say a dozen bananas, so it's 12 banana. So mole is a number of atoms, which is like 6.022 into 10 raised to 23. That many number consists of one mole of atoms. So mole is a number basically. These many atoms, molecules, okay? So a group of these many atoms constitute one mole. Luminous intensity is candela. CD. What is candela? CD is light. How much light? Let us say one tube light produces one candela. So two would produce two candela. So the luminous intensity, light, is measured in candela. Then you have plane angle, which is measured in radian. RADIAN. Okay? So it is RAD. Am I right?
So it should be RD.
Only RD?
Yes.
Okay. Some books write it RAD. But in this book it is given as RD, right? And then stay radian. So it depends, right? I mean, different books will see it different. Yeah, here it mentions RD, but in CBSE and all you will see RAD. Yeah. Have you all signed your attendance? Is there anybody who's missing a signing? No, madam. Okay, so in this book it says only RD. And then for solid angle you have steradian. STERADIAN. So it is ST and then RD. Don't worry about it. You will not face it before 11th or 12th. Okay? So this is just mentioned, so I'm just covering it.
Sir, in this book
So,
also.
huh?
Sir, in this book also the table is there.
Yeah. Now see,
So there is plane angle and solid angle.
so when you have a circle has a plane angle. It's a two-dimensional figure. But when you have a sphere, like so the angle will be like a cone. Be cone I say. So you see like this. This is a circle, right? So this angle is plane angle. But imagine Earth. Earth is a sphere. So if I take some surface area of Earth, so this angle is a solid angle. So it's a two-dimensional angle and a three-dimensional angle. So it will be like a cone. So don't worry about it. You will actually learn it in higher classes, not now. You just need to be familiar with it. Got the sign?
Yes.
Going on.
So that is steradian.
Steradian, yeah, solid angle. STE. Just see how it is written in the notes. It's correct. So the units of all the fundamental quantities, all the fundamental physical quantities are fundamental units. Okay? So units of all fundamental quantities, physical quantities, are called fundamental units. Okay? So units of all the fundamental physical quantities are called fundamental units. Now, if you want to measure these quantities, they do not depend on any other physical quantity for its measurement. These are independent measurements. Okay? Got it? Completed. Everybody is saying? Okay. So units of all fundamental physical quantities are called fundamental units. Right? So fundamental quantities do not depend upon other physical quantities for their measurement. Is this clear? Fundamental quantities do not depend upon other physical quantities for their measurement. Okay, means they can be independently measured. Length can be independently measured. Time can be independently measured, but not velocity, not force. Velocity is displacement upon time. So you need to measure length as well as time. So it is depending upon two quantities. Whereas fundamental quantities are independent quantities. They can be independently measured. Right? So for that you have to understand what is derived quantities.
Yes, sir, like meter per second. So meter
Yeah,
per second.
right. So derived quantities their units are combination of these units only. Measurement of derived quantities, derived physical quantity depend upon fundamental quantities. Is that clear? So what are derived physical quantities? Quantities. Mass is an independent quantity.
So meter per second.
Huh?
Kilometer per hour.
Kilometer per hour is speed.
So it's a derived.
It is a derived quantity. Yeah? It's a combination of. So these are the only units. All other quantities will be expressed in terms of these units only. Only these units you have to remember. Nothing else. So what is this? These quantities depends on fundamental quantities. Fundamental units for their measurement. Okay. So with the help of example, it will become clear. So what is speed? It is distance upon time. So what is the unit? Distance unit is meter. Time unit is second. Meter per second, or it is written meter per second, or like this. Any which way you can write the unit. Meter per second, meter oblique second, meter power minus 1. Is it clear? So speed is a derived physical quantity. So is velocity. Right? Acceleration. Force. Right? What is the unit of velocity? Same. Meter per second. This is meter per second square. Force is kg meter per second square. So all the units are nothing but combination of fundamental units. Isn't it amazing? Like world has so many physical quantities, thousands and thousands of physical quantities, but there are only these 9 basic physical quantities. Okay, all other derived quantities are made out of this. They are only combinations of this. Anything. Okay.
So acceleration.
Acceleration means changing velocity. Like a car right now riding Now you increase to 40, 50. So car is accelerating. Whenever the speed or velocity changes, it is accelerating. So we say accelerating when it is increasing. And when the speed is decreasing, we say it is decelerating or retarding. Okay, various terms are there.
So, velocity and speed is the same thing or are
They are different. Speed, the difference is we don't care about direction in case of speed. But in velocity, it is in a particular direction. So velocity is a vector quantity, speed is a scalar quantity.
we don't care about the direction, and whereas in velocity there is some direction.
Yes. So there are two types of physical quantities, scalar and vector. So to describe a scalar quantity, you don't need to describe its direction. Like mass, temperature, if I say 2 kgs, my mass is say 70 kgs. So I don't need to say my mass is 70 kg in a particular direction. However you weigh me, I'll weigh 70 kg. Right? Likewise, it is time. You don't need to be able to describe time, you don't require direction. But if it is force, I would say 20 Newton in this direction. Left, right, up, down, right? So to be able to describe certain physical quantities, you need to know its direction also. Okay? So those are called vector quantities. So velocity is a vector quantity, right? Speed is a scalar quantity.
So vector means we have to specify the right direction, left direction.
Yes. Which direction it is going? Like on ground, you have 4 directions, right? East, west, north and south. Then up and down. So if it is like, if I draw it like this. So this is your east, west. This is north and south. Then you have up and down. So there are 6 directions, right? So plane would have 4 and up and down. On sky, I don't know what's up.
The plane animal will have 4 directions and solid animal will have 6 directions. So I was saying that plane animal will have 4 directions and solid animal will have 6 directions.
So plane angle will have 4 directions, like in what sense?
North, south, east, and west.
It is a circle. So it is 360 degree. See, when it is in a plane, the circle is in a plane also. It could be in the vertical plane also. Any plane it can have a circle, right? So when I say, look at the needle of the clock. Let us say it is 0 here at 3 o'clock, right? I am going anti-clockwise, not in the direction of clock, opposite. Now when it comes back again, it is 360 degree, one full circle. Okay? So how would you, like, no sense of direction in this? And
So plane angle and solid angle
they have angle. Yeah, they have angle, they have degrees. Right? So we can specify like these many degrees northeast, like that. Like in geography, southwest. So if it is a ground, so it depends. The circle, not necessarily circle, the angle could be anywhere. Not necessarily circle, right? But if you are attaching it to a ground, like in case of in geography, right? On the globe, if I want to say where it is with respect to center of Earth, then I have given certain latitude and longitude angles. So we can describe that way. But it is an independent thing. But you can mix it with direction to specify any location on Earth or anywhere. These are all called coordinates. Right? It is called coordinates. Okay. Anyway, so right now just keep it separate. We are just building it up. So if we mix up everything, it will be confusing, right? So when the situation comes, we'll discuss it. Okay. Yeah. So whatever I have discussed so far, is it making sense to you?
Yes.
So let's proceed. So far we have understood there are two different types of physical quantities. The fundamental quantities and their units are called fundamental units. Then we have derived kind of quantities and there are unlimited derived quantities, unlimited. So many combinations, right? And all their units are depending upon fundamental quantities or fundamental units for their measure. Okay, that's it. So I think we have covered most of it. And now we will be dealing with measurement of length, what kind of lengths are there. In your textbook, so many extra things are also given, right?
Yes.
So, like you can open the textbook and see what are the different definitions of lengths are given. So I am calling Selena. Okay. You can call Selena. Selena is good.
So we have the same.
Ah,
Same in our school. Yes, sir.
okay, good. Okay, Selena. So in lengths also there are different units, right? Can I erase the board now?
Yeah, yes.
So any questions so far?
So now we have system of unit.
Systems of units I've already discussed. Do you have any question on that? No. So these was details not expected. They will not ask you in exam. Not everything. It's difficult to remember. Now what I am going to take you through is the definition of meter. What is 1 meter? Right? What is 1 meter? Like I said, all these Bureau of Weights and Measures heads of various countries, they got together at Paris and then they decided what is a meter. So initially, like in 1889, come on page 3, units of length, right? So I think I'm leaving these prefixes, the small prefixes. I think you have already learned this, right? So deca, hecto, kilo, centi, deci, right? You attach it as a prefix or suffix. Anyone has doubts here? Huh? You just go through it, right? I mean, it is self-explanatory.
What is this calculation?
What is?
Meaning, calculation.
What is the meaning for?
10 raised to 1, 10 raised to 2.
10 raised to, acha, you are yet to, okay. So it's like this. So you can write it as 100 or you can write it as 10 raised to 2. It means 10 into 10. Power means, let's say it is 10 raised to 3. So it will be 10 into 10 into 10, 3 times. Okay? If it is minus, if it is 10 raised to minus 3, then it will be 1 upon 10 raised to 3. And this is 1 upon 1000. Okay? It's like that. Got it? So, I think in mathematics you learn about it.
No, sir, actually I got confused. At the end of that, this is meter only. What else I have?
These are all meters only. So the prefix and suffix will appear accordingly. Okay? Right. So I think I'm skipping that part, and there are various symbols for it. Like if it is 10 raised to 1, right? So you can say, suppose you have written 1 decameter. Okay? So it is like 1 decameter. It actually means 10 meter. So either you say 10 meter or you write it as 1 decameter. So let us say you have 300 meters, right? You can write it as 30 decameter. Understood? This is how you can write. So this is a prefix. So prefix means it will fix before meter, prefix. Right? So this is the meaning of prefix. Is that clear? But don't be bothered about this. I don't think they will be asking you a question on this. So is here. You don't need to, I think, memorize these. Okay? These things are also there in 11th standard, 12th standard, but no question is asked on this. Question will be asked later, experimentation. The vernier calipers, the screw gauge, all those. But how to use those instruments to measure smaller length, like thickness of the hair. Can you measure it with scale? But you can measure it with screw gauge or vernier calipers. Right? So we'll come to that. Okay. So units of length. We have, how much time we have? 21. So we have 9 minutes. Okay. So let me explain. Yeah.
So this decimeter is 10 minus 1.
Yes, it is decimeter.
So it will be 0.1 meter.
Yes, it's 1/10th of the meter. 1 meter divided by 10.
100 centimeter.
No, 10 centimeter. Decimeter is 10. Yeah, exactly. Okay. Then you have various symbols which you will, like the explanation is given. This mu is micro. Right? All the symbol name is given to you. Okay, it will appear, but you won't be like getting numericals on this right now. Okay. There is some crazy question on symbol your work. So just go through it. Okay. Because memory, it's a memory test, right? But later on, you will be using it so much that it will become part of your personality. So you don't have to memorize it. If the question comes up, but there won't be any. Okay, so let's come to how the meter was defined. So if you look at, originally in 1889, the meter was defined as a distance between two marks drawn on a platinum iridium, which is an alloy with 90% platinum and 10% iridium. So it's basically a metal rod made up of platinum iridium alloy, mixture of platinum and iridium, right? And two markings were engraved on that metal, and everybody agreed that okay, this distance is 1 meter, right? So what was 1 meter? There was one rod, one platinum iridium rod, and these markings were made 0 and 100, and then it was divided into 1000 equal parts. The smallest part being like 1 millimeter. Okay, so you have 100 centimeter, no? 100 and each centimeter also divided into 10 equal parts. So the smallest part was decided as 1 millimeter. Right? Now this scale was agreed upon in Paris, right? But then it should be easy to reproduce. So that is also a choice of unit. There is a topic called choice of unit. Choice of unit. So we decided that 1 meter is something like this. Then every country should have its own meter. Every shop has its own meter. Right? So it should be easily reproducible. So it should be convenient. The unit should be convenient. Right? So meter scale is convenient. Right? Then in school or in our geometry box, we have a very small meter, right? It's only like how many inches? 6 inches, right? 15 centimeters, around 6 inches, right? So and every geometry box has that. So it is very easy to reproduce, right? So it should be easily reproducible. Okay. Third, a meter in India should be same as a meter in UK or America. So it should not change with place, time, right, temperature. Okay. So that's why it is a standard. 1 meter in India is same in UK as well as in America, anywhere, right? So it should not change with place, right? Time, temperature. In short, it should be fixed. Short. And for this, it should not be ambiguous. Ambiguous. Okay, it should not be confusing. It should be very clear, right? A scale with whose zero mark has disappeared or in between markings are gone, then it will be difficult for you to guys. Okay, so it should be clear. So any unit should be like this.
I didn't understand.
Like in India, can we do with only one scale? Everybody needs a scale, right? So one scale was decided in Paris. Now if that was the only scale in the world, it will be chaos, right? There will be war. That was scale zero.
You don't let everyone take choice of scale. So sir, but in America it is.
No, we should agree.
India also is freedom.
We should agree for a reference standard such that it should be very convenient. So we agreed, no? Like every head of the weights and dozen of every country gathered in Paris, and they agreed, okay, okay, this platinum iridium rod, okay, that was then 1889. So today the unit is different. See, that rod with temperature will expand, and therefore what was agreed may not be the length. You understand? So now there is a new standard. In 1983, the meter was redefined in terms of speed of light, according to which 1 meter is the distance traveled by the light in 1 divided by so many of a second in air or light. See in your book that number. So you just go home and see. Okay, so you are not expected to memorize this. Okay, but you should understand what is a meter. Now you know that light travels with this speed, 3 into 10 raised to 8 meters per second. So it is like what? 3000 into 10 raised to 5 per second. So light travels 3000 lakh meters in 1 second. 10 raised to 5 is 1 lakh. So light will travel in 1 second. How many meters? 3000 lakh. Not 1 lakh. 3000 lakh. Lakh 3000 times in 1 second. That is the speed of light. So therefore, in a very small part of second. What is a part of second? So 1 upon 299. So is it time? Yeah, just one more minute. 299, 792, 458. So in this part of a second, whatever distance light travels, so this is a very small part of a second. It's not half a second. It's not even lakh of a second. It's 2997 lakh of a second. And that itself is very small. It's not even this, so much small, right? So that is how a standard is defined. Okay?
So by this 1/299792458 is the.
This is a very small part of a second. It's a some very small fraction of a second.
That's 1 meter, right?
That's 1 meter, yeah. Whatever is the distance traveled by light. I told you in 1 second light travels 3000 lakh meters. But we are not asking about 1 second. We are saying 1 second is divided into these many parts. One part of that.
So it's very small.
Very, very, very small. Not very small. Very, 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 very small. So if you do it with calculator, you will get 0.00000 something. It's very small duration. Whatever the distance light travels, that is 1 meter. We know meter should be something like this. But since it is a standard, it should not change with time. Still, we are following this. So likewise, there are various agreement on unit of mass. So again, in 1889, 1 kilogram was defined as mass of cylindrical piece of platinum iridium alloy kept at International Bureau of Weights. Yeah, so Bureau is B-U-R-E-A-U. So just correct it. What is it? B-U-R-E-A-U. Okay. So for the mass, again it is a platinum iridium alloy, right? Some small piece of it. They agreed that okay, we will call this as 1 kg. And then they produced various clones of it. Then it was distributed amongst countries. Got it? So this standard we call it a prototype. And then it was reproduced everywhere else. But now what is mass? Huh? Okay, so we have not changed that. That is the mass for us. Right? For atom there is a different standard. We follow atomic mass unit. Okay? And it is taken as 1/12 the mass of one carbon 12 atom. Now I will need to explain this to you. Right? So as of now, mass you stick with this definition. The platinum iridium.
So we have to remember all these.
You don't have to remember, read it and understand. Okay? Or if you're good at remembering, read it 2, 3, 4 times, you'll remember. But we don't expect question on this definition. So it is difficult to remember. You have some big numbers. Tough, right, to remember. Then what is the second? Second is defined as 1 divided by 86,400 part of a mean solar day. Now what is a mean solar day? Mean solar day is the duration taken by Earth to complete one revolution on its axis. Right? Like time between sunrise, one sunrise to the next sunrise. Okay? So that is actually 24 hours. So we work backward, 24 hours into 1 hour is 60 minutes, then into 60 like that. Okay, so you will get this number. So 1 by 24 into 60, 1 by 24 into 60 into 60. Yeah.
3,620.
3,600 into 24 will result into this. So this is a backward calculation. But initially we defined that as 1 second. But now there is a more precise, more accurate definition, which is given in this term. Like 1 second is the time interval of these many vibrations, large number of vibrations of radiation corresponding to transition between two unperturbed ground state hyperfine levels of cesium-133 atom. Now, difficult to remember this definition, right? Plus, what it means also is difficult to comprehend right now because you haven't yet read those things. Okay, so these are the theories you will study in higher classes like 11, 12. So, the new definition of mass is, yeah, it's written here. It is in terms of Planck's constant. Now, Planck's constant again you will learn in higher standards. Okay, so just let it somewhere, swim in your brain. But you are not expected to memorize. Okay. So I have basically given you the basis of what is a unit, right? So, but you will be using it, not so much memorizing, but you will be using it. So you will be using meter, kilogram, second. But I have told you what is a meter, what is a kilogram, what is a second, what is the basis of it. You should know the origin of it. That's all. Okay. So with this, I think we'll stop here. 7:35 already. Right? Do you have any other class today?
Yes.
After this one. Fine. Okay, so I think we'll stop here.
Yes.
Our time is 4, no?
Yes.
4.
So let's see. Yes.
No. Only this chapter is additional. This chapter is not there in 6. It's in 11. And it's in greater detail in 11. So don't worry about this chapter, okay? This is just, so don't be scared. You read it once like a story. The real fun will start in the next chapter. Okay. Yeah, see you.
Yes.
But now,
class teacher. Pastor is also good. Perfect ideas. Good.
Basic idea.
Like,
मेरा शायद 6 है ना जी बड़ा 0 हटाएगा तो मेरा हमारा s बात को लेकर नहीं आ रही y से s की
Why this girl is kept separately and you people are sitting in one side? All are from the same school.
Yeah,
It is also different school. It is like in a one country, other country, or something. It is one group, other group. Good evening to you all. No, I could not hear anything. Good evening. You are from which school, my dear? Ablo. What's your name? Huh? Riddhi. You are from which school, my dear? Pota. What's your name? Huh? Come here. What is your name? Nikhil. You are from which school? What is the Ryan, no?
Yes.
Come now. You are from which school? Ryan, which Ryan? Very good. You are Ryan, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. No, that will also be, although she will feel when she is looking. Okay? Come and sit. Come and sit now. Now people will come together, sit now. Otherwise, one will be next tomorrow. Should I go? When friends are there, we all have, when company is there, otherwise separately, come forward. What is your name? Satwik. Your name? Ayush. You?
Ayush.
Both Ayush. But now this one will be a problem. Which Ayush? What is the name? Shrishta. Shrishta. Ayush. Same division. only?
Yeah, we can say
Ah.
in our class is ICSE, but it's me one, and there's another Ayush.
3 Ayush is there.
And our class is
3. Full Ayush only. Ayush. What is which birth year?
2008.
Total 2008. That year Ayush was very,
2007.
that year Ayush was very famous. All giving name right. So, which subject we are going to do? Maths. Okay, myself, VG sir, okay, I will be taking maths for you all. Attendance sheet, all of you know when to sign. I will give it okay, those who are not signed, so please sign. Your sign, okay, you give to them. Okay. And pass it. Okay. Same books. Here wise it changes now. There is a here is written now here. And here is written wise. At least here are the annual rules of the years of certificate. Okay now, chalo, let's start with the lecture now. You sign, start with Ayush. What's the name of it? Huh? Paras? Ajay, your brother from Paras? This Paras, right now 10th standard Paras. Huh? He was in Kartham, no? Right Kartham. You are from which school? Right Kartham. What is it? Paras Jadhav. Any of your brother sister was there in UT? His brother was there. Alright, okay. So, you all are in 9th standard? Alright, 9th standard only. 8th standard exams are all? Results are all?
Yes.
All passed? Okay. Online exam or offline exam? All 8th standard results are online?
Yes, sir.
Then who will fail in online exam? Possible to fail in online exam?
Yes.
Yes, you failed in online exam.
Yes, sir. 2 time grants.
I failed.
It is not possible to do it. Good. Okay, answers is difficult.
I just figured I got less marks in math.
Okay. Answers is difficult for you.
Yes, sir.
You.
Only subject
Only-
I failed 2 times.
So you remember maths. But how do you remember when I failed to type? Okay. How is maths for you? Good, easy. Good. Good.
You understand? It's quite hard.
And what about you? Easy. You? Hard. Partly easy, partly hard. You? $100. Very good. Which year? This year, 8th standard. 7th or how many you got? 97. So now 97 reached to 100. So you cannot go behind 100 now. Beyond 100 you cannot, and you cannot come beyond 97. Below 100 also. So you maintain your 100. Sure. Possible now? Sure. Good. So we have to go 9th standard. What's in school is started?
Yeah.
When it started?
From yesterday.
Yesterday. Yours? 28th of March. Yours?
My school didn't start from 7.
I did not start. Waiting for one day after. Yours? Yesterday. Okay. Maths topics are started.
Yes.
Yours what? What? You went to statistics. That is a problem. Different schools, different topics will be there, and we have to find out what is done. Okay, now you are all school will be starting with the chapter on rational and irrational numbers. Don't worry, we all the chapters, okay? So, maths we have to make it easy, Ayush.
Yes, sir.
So, we have to make it easy. You practice maths
Yes, sir.
Where?
Practice.
at all. I have taken addition multiplication and all, you know. Sure.
Yes, sir.
What is 8 7, sir?
Yes, sir.
It's a new
Physics.
That will should not be good. So little more practice period, okay? Don't worry, okay? We'll also one day you will become like you. But,
Yes, sir. Yes,
then
sir.
when did you fail?
Last 2 terms.
When did you get 82?
This term.
You don't jump to 82. Then you are not bad in math. You good in math, okay? You will not study that way. Okay? So you will do, you will also become like him. So maths, the subject, you know, you have to take interest in the subject. Okay? The chapters, subject is interesting, then you can do. Subject is not interesting, boring means, you know, you will not be able to do the chapter. Okay? So we will do practice maths. Can you do study without maths now? No. It's compulsory for you. You have to do the maths. Okay. If you do practice maths properly, you will get at least full mark. You can get possible. Okay. That is a subject we can make it full mark. Okay. So do it regularly. Practice. What regular practice needed? At least in a day 5 questions is enough. No? 5 questions do regularly means that is your practice is done. Even if 5 questions is done means your work also is done, so you will be no tension for you. Don't take tension when marks comes, all tension. The maths exam day means previous night I will not get sleep. Then I will sit till 2 o'clock, working. Next day morning we will go to the class, school. Then all tensions will be, paper gets, again tension starts. Okay, for the result that what happens now. So not take tension. Study regularly. Okay, tension means whatever in your mind you don't go. Without tension, tension means you have to be. Okay, so then this subject can be. If your tension is this is calculation, it is not theory subject. Theory means you know one point is missing, you can do the other points. Whereas what is the maths? One step is made mistake means remaining thing. That is right. So you have to be careful, concentrate and do.
So,
Yes.
some extent, this year we have to take classes. So we have to go on 28 chapters. So how
This year board exam in 9th standard, who said that?
so in our school,
Don't worry. Okay. I told things. Why you worry now? 28 chapters is very very short. 10th standard ICSE examination it is good syllabus. Okay. Now, board has put up a rule as 9th standard also they have to do this full syllabus. Now, some of the schools may from that by
our teacher already declared that first two terms, and then the last term, full syllabus.
be prepared. Huh?
Period divided.
That's it. Okay. Teacher says this, we have to. Okay. It is not only for you know everyone. Not all. Okay. Regularly do it so that you know there should not be any tension. Why this has happened means you know because in the 10th standard previously they were just only because of COVID only it was 2 terms were there. 10th standard. Otherwise there could be one examination. Full. Okay. Even that is why ICSE board. 4 to 5 years back, they made it compulsory, all the chapters compulsory. Okay, that is the reason. So, whatever the rules comes. Now, no more online things, okay? You know it now? Online is over. Now it's everything offline. Your school, your exam, or even mask also, don't be wearing it. Mask is not compulsory. If you want to wear it, no problem. Okay, don't worry. Okay. If you are result, Mummy says wear the mask, you wear. It's not necessary. Huh? So this much time you are sitting and you did not give him water. Break time is not.
Only answer.
Drink, all of you drink. After the lecture, you also drink. I drank. You also wanted to drink water. And your bag, no, don't forget the things over there, okay? Okay, and remember, you bring the mobile and put under it. Don't bring the mobile. What happened? Water spilling. Ah, so okay, no problem. Yes, done, Ayush?
Yes.
Out. Let's sit down. Okay. So, when these are drinking water, or when you can do it after one lecture, no, physics lecture was over. After that, you will drink water. Okay? No problem. Sure. So, this is the one, so maths has to be practiced regularly. Okay, so that there should not be. We will come to one by one chapters. Before coming to the chapters, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, all of these things, all of you know now. Table and all of you know.
Yes.
Basic till 10 table.
Yeah.
Till 10. 10 if you know addition to
Ah.
I'll ask you.
Yes.
7 6 are
42.
7 plus 6.
7 plus 13.
13 plus 8.
13 plus 8. 21.
So that way you have to think about. Okay, like that, okay. So table and all you have to think about. Okay, for that calculation will be. Next is, now in the maths, remember one statement. If the question is wrong, you will not do that. Question wrong does not mean that it is given a question wrong question. Generally, very rare cases in the textbook, the question paper always question is correct. How the question become wrong? We copy down wrong. Yes or no? The question is given 1, 2, 5, 0. When it is coming to the answer, it is 1, 5, 2, 0. Yes or no? So don't make mistake. That mistakes are happened. Or that is one of the things. Second thing is word problems when it is coming. I know in the equation form to solve it, but playing the game is a problem.
That's very
Okay, that is all. So try to understand and make the thing. Okay, read the question, try to analyze and find out what is given. That is very important. Otherwise, formula if I ask you, everyone knows the formula. If it is a question paper, I know this question. But when the answer paper comes, there is a mistake here. Calculation. This value was wrong. This is taken. Okay. The main of the mistake is that one. Not that you are not studying. The mistake is we make mistake of the calculation. We make mistake in copying the sums and so take care of that. It's very important. Okay. Once that all reduced, your tensions are less, then you can get it. Okay. That is the one thing. Okay. So for that one, only the method is what? Practice. Okay, practice is one. Now, whenever your maths lecture is there, UT volumes are given to all. How many of you did not get? 3, 4, you did not. Okay. You will get the volumes. Means study material will be given. We will be mainly doing from the UT volume. Now UT volume is nothing new. All the questions you will see in your seminars. Okay, the same thing. From there only we made the volume into classwork and homework part. Certain part is divided into the classwork part, certain into the homework part, and classwork part we will do in the class, homework part we will do it home. That is all. Okay, every topic like that will be. Please do regularly the homework part. Whenever I will not give lot of homework control, okay? Certain part of the homework will be given, maybe at maximum it is half an hour. And while doing the homework, another thing, remember, don't look at the next lecture. Oh, when is the next lecture come? Then only I will do the homework. Try to, if it is today is given the homework, try to do today or tomorrow. In a day or two, you have to try to complete it. Otherwise, maybe okay, next week is lecture, I will start. That time you forget. Okay, so that is why. If homework is not given, I have to mark over here. In the attendance sheet is marking. You know why it is marking? If it is marked, you know, it will go to the computer. That you then automatically there will be a message to go to your parents. This child is not done the homework. Okay, so do it. And you will not do too much homework. Okay, I know school work is there, school things are there. First thing is your school work you have to complete. Okay, school thing you have to complete because your internal assessment, all these things are based on your school. Okay, so at the same time, what we are doing, you keep watching. Okay, that you put it. Okay. And now coming with you, whenever you come to maths lecture, you will be carrying a notebook. That notebook will be only for maths. Okay, don't use for other subjects. Why means it's lot of things we have to do. It's not that this book will be over, another book will take, another book will take. If you are mixing up the things, it will not. Okay, so try to keep on doing. It's even you can use the book of previous years also. Okay, like last year you got the book, it is not certain pages only. Let's say SST, I wrote only 5 pages or 10 pages, but use it, no problem. No need to throw away the books. You can use that also. And your pencil, pen, scale, and basic things you should be always looking at. Okay, that all things will be there. I'm sure you will all do well. Now, so let's start with not with later. Okay, I just told you. Now, whenever construction control needed, so now let's start with the basic things and all. Just simple certain work I will ask you to do. Okay, keep the textbook aside, take a notebook. One book. There is one book only now, you don't need to be different books. Okay, take the last page of the back side. Back side is taken now. Okay. I will write something, you have to give the answers, okay? Calculate that. It's only simple, small revision. See what is written? 3.8 plus 25.38. Just find out and write that. Not even looking at others, just write whatever. If you got the answer, put your pen down. But no, I did not ask you to compare that. Okay, time off. Look here. This is what the question is being asked. Addition. Okay. First and foremost thing is some of you copied the question now. Okay. For addition, when you are done, some of you copied the question now. Then addition. When it is done, decimals are come. You know what is to be taken care? The decimal should be, point should be on the same line. The next decimal should be here now. Then only write 25.3. That is the first thing you have to keep it. Then, when you add these two, there is nothing with 0. So, 8. 8 plus 3 is 1. 1 is. Okay, so answer is coming as 29.8. Are you followed?
Yes.
Okay, so be careful while copying the question, while putting the question. This will be, don't worry, okay. The small mistakes are happening, don't worry. Okay? Got that? Okay. So this one is done. Now, if I give a multiplication, let's say. Yes. 3.2 times 5.7. let him do this one. Online students, I don't know. I don't think they are there. Sometimes it's there. Normally, it's a right. It's recording is going. Yeah. Okay. Enough. There are different answers what I have seen again. You can do 32 and 57 is multiplied 7 2s are 14, 3 7s are 21 plus 1 22. 5 2s are 10, 5 3s are 15 and 16. Add this is 4, this is 2, this is 8 and this one. Quite a lot of people got this much.
So that is one.
So that's
Is correct? This is coming as how much? 18. Yes or no?
Yes.
So this is 18, 1824. The next thing is the mistake is come, most of the people done. Now how many decimals? 1 and 1, 1 plus is 2. So where is the 2 place of decimal you have to do? 18. 2 place of decimal you have to do it, okay? Look in your book, not look at others book, okay? So decimal, be careful. Sometimes silly mistakes happens, okay? So be careful of this. Okay, this is multiplication. All of you, no problem, no?
Yes.
Just only you know, analyze and all. He's very happy. Ayush, what Ayush you have? What Ayush you have? It is party. One is party line, other is Ayush. That's it. You are something to become party will be easy. Achha, chalo. Okay now. Next is divide and find the quotient and remainder. Obtain the quotient and the remainder.
quotient and
Remainder. Question is 117 divided by 11. Then quotient and remainder. Don't look into others' book questions. Then you know what happens. You are correcting, you will make mistake. Not completed dispense time is needed. Those who completed put the pen down. Those are doing
we have to fix.
hey, why is what did you hear my question? Or the question? Find the question and remainder. Okay, right? Enough now. Still going on. Next time, okay. Yeah. This time majority are wrong. Still he is calculating Ayush Patil. Wait na. Almost everyone except one person, I think all others are wrong. First of all, you did not hear the question. What is the question? Obtain the quotient and remainder. The quotient and remainder, there is decimals are there. Then why everyone put contain something decimal? Quotient and remainder is decimal is there. Then why you want to do decimals? So that's why you did not listen to the question properly now. So 117. Now the next is look divided by 11. Stop. No need to do it. How much? 11. 0.
7.
Now, is it 7 is the remainder?
Yes, sir.
Wrong. 7 is not the remainder. 7 is come from here. Now we have to put 0.
Minus.
Now will come 7 is the remainder. You forgot to put the 0 na? You all, some of you got 10, 1.60, 1.63. Some of you got 10 point. So now what is the quotient? This is the quotient and this is the Are we followed? So read question carefully, think and do it. You will, those who write 1.63 teacher will give mark. No. Those who wrote 10.63 teacher will give mark. Still no. Your answer is correct. But what was the question? Obtain the question. So you have to write this question in this one.
So
Understood.
we divided it and here with the bar.
A flat decimal, that we will come to that part I will tell you. Okay, where bar to put and all. But you followed what is the question? Okay. Decimal form means the bar and all the things that we will discuss. This page is clear.
Yes.
All of you know how to write this in mixed fraction?
Yes.
What is the mixed fraction?
7, 10.
Huh?
10, 7.
10, 7.
10, 7 upon 11. All of you know?
Yes, sir.
What is 3, 1 by 4 means?
13.
Make it into improper fraction.
13 by 4.
13 by 4. 3 into 4, 12 plus 1, 13 upon 4. Okay? So that this all of you know it.
Yes, sir.
So be careful with the questions. Okay? So that is the first thing. Child, stop this one. Addition, subtraction and all. Okay. Okay. Now, turn back to the page, to the front side. It's all history. Already know when you always repeat. Addition, subtraction, you are done. And what addition, subtraction, you will say. So we just only put down. Okay. Mistakes happen, but be careful. Okay. Next time such mistakes should not happen. That's all. Chapter name is what?
Rational.
Rational and irrational numbers. Rational and irrational numbers. Rational and irrational numbers. Should I write? We have taken the book as rational. Rational and irrational numbers. Okay. Now. Now listen. All of you listen. To start with the rational and irrational numbers, first we do certain previous parts. Like till reaching to rational numbers. You know what are counting numbers? We started now counting numbers. Well, how we started counting 1, 2, 3, 4, etc. Okay. They are called what type of numbers?
Natural.
They are called natural numbers. So what are natural numbers? Counting numbers. What are counting numbers? Counting numbers. At least something counting numbers are 1, 2, 3 for counting. Okay. So natural. Set you studied in the previous class.
Yes, sir.
Previous classes are so and natural numbers are denoted by, do you know what's the letter?
N.
Capital N. Okay, capital N is equal to set 1, 2, 3. Do you know what is this dots means? 1, 2. How will you read set 1, 2, 3, etc. Etc. means what? It's predefined, knowing one. Okay, this is natural numbers. Okay, give me an example of a natural number. 1. Another example. 10. Right.
14, 16,
Huh? 300. 6. 3.5 is a natural number.
so sir, 1, 2,
Skip back.
It's a 1 ball.
No. Okay, now listen. I said something. Did you hear?
yes, sir.
What is it? 3.5 is a natural number.
No, sir.
Why?
Yes, sir. Yes.
See, he changed it. No. He changed it now. 3.5 is a natural. What do you think? She is not agree. You agree, hey, it's wrong. So we'll count, start counting from here. 1, 1.5, 1.7, like that we count.
No.
Then how 3.5 is come as a natural number? So that is why don't listen to others and tell. Okay. So 3.5 is not a natural number. Why it is not a natural number? It is not a counting number. Is it okay or not?
Yes.
Agreed all of you?
Yes.
Okay, it's a natural number. 3.0 is a natural number.
Yes, sir.
Because it is 3.0 is 3 only. Okay? Understood now? So don't make mistakes. What is the least natural number only? Least
1.
1. Smallest one is the 1. What is the largest one?
3.
3.
Infinite.
Stop to 3.
Sir, 2 trillion.
He knows only 2 trillion. What is this 2 trillion for you? He is beyond 2 trillion. He knows up to there only. Beyond that, there is nothing. He said 1000 trillion or 30. What is the largest natural number?
Sir, infinite.
We don't know which is the largest one, isn't it? You cannot tell the largest one. Least one give. Okay, so natural number. So you can write natural numbers. Natural numbers. Okay. Then natural, natural, natural numbers. N is equal to set 1, 2, 3, 5. Okay? What happened? You're feeling what is the problem? You're okay? No problem with that, tell me. Okay, now natural numbers, so set and law. I don't need to make you to write which is the law, least and law, lower and that only. No. After this one, which is the next set of numbers? All numbers.
Just contains 0.
Just contain 0. Only 0 is the only wrong number.
No, 0
0 and all the
Yes, sir.
Natural.
0 because
0 with all the natural numbers is called whole number. All numbers are denoted by
W.
W. So write for whole numbers. All numbers. W. 0, set 0, 1, 2, 3, etc. WHOLE. All numbers. Okay. All right. Okay. All whole numbers are natural numbers.
No, sir. 0 is not a natural number.
You can reason also. Please. No. Okay. All natural numbers are whole numbers.
Yes.
So you everything don't know only. All natural numbers are not whole numbers.
Yes.
Which natural number is not a whole number? 0 is a
0 is not a
natural.
natural number.
Listen, this man is not listening. All whole numbers are not natural numbers? No. Because 0 is a whole number, but 0 is not a natural number. All natural numbers are whole numbers. Yes. Every natural number is know. 1, 2, 3, 4, everything. This is not. From here everything. Okay. So which is the biggest one? Bigger one. Among natural number and all the bigger set. All numbers is the bigger set. No, because it's getting bigger.
It has 4 and it contains 0.
Not 4 elements. Keep on going on. It contains an additional element 0, na? Here there is no that 0 also. That's why bigger is bigger. Okay. What is the least whole number?
0.
0. Which is the number which is a whole number but not a natural number?
0.
0 is the only the number which is a whole number but it is not a natural number. So whole number I don't need to tell you anything else.
Yes, sir.
Okay, minus 3 is a whole number.
So, no, sir, it is the integer.
Or minus I did not ask for negative numbers are not there. Okay. Okay, so bigger one. Now next after that next is called integers. Who will tell what are integers?
Negative number. All negative. So it's the numbers, but their sign is minus.
All minus one only.
So you are negative, 0 and 1.
Negative, 0 and positive. Agreed?
Yes.
Anything else? All agreed? Yes, doctor, sir. No. Sure, no?
Instead of positive, you think of negative.
0 is not there.
No, sir, it is there.
0 not 0. So finally, so what she said, you all agreed or not?
Yes.
All of you agreed. Now listen now. Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive. So it's an integer?
No.
Yes, sir. 3.5 integer. 3.5. Yes, sir, it is.
So we can add minus.
Hmm?
I think I can make it minus.
3.5 is an integer or not?
Yes, sir,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
Integer is not counting.
Sir, it is not.
You people only said you only said positive, negative and all. This is positive now.
Because this is an integer.
Huh?
It is an integer.
It's an integer, it's not an integer. Now you are going to third or there.
It is.
Huh?
It is a.
It is no integer.
So I say
It is an integer. Yes.
yes.
Yes. Majority will take. It is not an integer. Huh? Now look here. First of all, let's clear what is integer. Don't tell positive, negative and 0. That is where is the problem. Yes, for remembering we will tell, but you have to remember this one. Counting numbers. You know which are the counting numbers?
Yes, sir.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0 and negative of the counting numbers. Which are the negative of the counting numbers?
Minus
Minus 2,
one,
minus 2,
minus
minus 3.
one.
Okay, understood. So what are integers? Counting numbers, 0 and negative of the counting numbers. For conveniently we remember that way, positive, negative and 0. Because maths we don't need any definitions at all. Okay. So how about 3.5? Is it an integer?
No.
No. Reason?
It
It's
is
not a counting number. Minus 3.5?
No.
No. Why?
It is
Because
not
it's
a
not a
counting.
counting number.
You are the minus what? It is not a negative of a counting number. Okay, it cannot be. Minus 3 is an integer?
Yes.
Yes or no? Why
Yes.
is it an integer?
Because it's not a counting number.
It is negative of the counting.
Negative.
Counting the minus 3 cannot. Okay, give an example of an integer. Minus 2. You minus 2. You
Minus 40.
minus what?
Minus.
All minus only negative. Negative only you are going positive or negative. Yes.
Some minus 2.
Again minus 2. So he is thinking about minus 2. You 0. He reached to the negative to 0. You
Minus.
again minus. Nobody positive feel what something problem with the positive or about 25. Integer or what?
Yes, I do.
36.
Yes.
2000.
Yes.
Okay, positive also is there. Okay, not only not negative. Integers are denoted by a letter. You know what?
Z.
Z. Capital is that or I. Somewhere you will see I also. So integers are you will write as Z or I is equal to, you know how to write the set? We will put dot dot dots etc. minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. Both the sides is going. This is the way to write. Okay now?
Yes.
So,
So all natural numbers are integers.
yes.
Yes or no?
Yes.
Any natural number is an integer. Every whole number is an integer.
Yes.
Yes.
0 is an integer. Okay. What is the sign of 0?
What's that?
Sign of 0.
That it is not negative.
Neither negative nor positive. Okay. So what is sign of 3?
Plus.
Positive. Sign of minus 7?
Minus.
Okay. Positive, negative. Okay. So integers you got it. You know how to represent on the number line also, no?
Yeah.
So till integers, no problem, no confusion. Yep.
That was very easy.
It's good, but you make mistakes now. 3.5, lot of mistakes you made, no easy ones. Okay. Chalo. Okay, now beyond this one. So till 3 sets we said. Now do you know what is the next set? Rational numbers. What about what are rational numbers?
0, 3.
0, 3, 1. Close that. following numbers are not rational numbers.
Yeah, they're rational. Yes. Yes, sir. Yeah. Class teacher also. Yes.
Class teacher also has written them for the irrational numbers. Class teacher or math teacher?
Maths teacher.
Wrong.
Sir, never told me, right?
I'll ask math teacher. Look here. What are rational numbers? A number which is of the form a upon b, where a and b are integers and b is not equal to 0. What a number of which form? Number of the form a by b. What are a and b? Integers, and b is not equal to 0. So write down rational numbers. Rational numbers. A number of the form a upon b, where a and b are integers where you wrote a number of the form a upon b, where a and b are integers and b not equal to 0. Not equal to 0. Written that means?
Yes.
No problem. Now so give me an example of a rational number.
Minus 5.
Minus 5.3. Give another example.
Minus 1 lakh upon 10,000.
Huh?
Minus 1 lakh upon 10,000.
Minus 1 lakh upon 10,000. Give me another rational. Non small, you don't need 1 lakh.
Okay, minus 1 by 2.
Every minus or without minus you cannot write. Huh? 3 by 4.
Minus 5 upon 2.
Minus 5 upon 2. 1 by 2. 6 by 5. These all are rational numbers. If I am going to tell them 0 by 6.
Yes, sir, it is rational number.
No.
Because
Yes, sir, it is rational.
So,
sir, it is a
Sir,
rational
rational.
finally it is a rational number or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
because
Denominator should not be 0. Numerator can be 0, na?
yes,
sir.
Okay. 6 by 0.
No.
So why denominator should not be 0?
Some will be wrong.
Some will be wrong. Why denominator can be wrong?
Just because it will be equal to the numerator.
Is equal to numerator.
Yeah, it will be 0.
6 by 0 equal to 6.
Oh, no, it equals to 0.
Huh? What is 6 by 0?
0.
0. 0 is not a rational number.
It is rational.
Then why cannot be denominator 0? Why denominator can't be 0? Now he is forward. No, because division by 0 is not possible. That is studying the third or fourth standard now. You cannot divide any number by 0. Answer? Answer will not, it is not possible. You never see denominator become 0. Okay, division by 0 is not defined or not possible. You cannot divide any number by 0. If you write this one 0 upon 5 is equal to 0. 5 upon 0, what is the answer? Not possible, not defined. Are you followed or not? Okay, division by 0 is not possible or not defined. Okay, so that is why. Remember, now later when I ask,
Yes, sir.
don't make mistake.
Yes, sir. I
You will answer. Okay, so division by 0 is not possible. Okay now, so followed what is a rational number? A number which is of the form a upon b, where a and b are integers and b is
Not equal to 0.
examples also you said. Now, 3 by 5, is it a rational number?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. This can be written as 6 by 10. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
This can be written as 0.6.
Yes,
Yes.
Okay. If I ask you to divide 1 by 3, so you can see me here now. Why are you looking at me? This? Okay, divide 1 by 3. Can you tell, find out 1 by 3? Before that, do you know what is the meaning of 0.3 bar?
Sir, it's 3 is like
It means 0.3333 is going on. This is a recurring number. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
What is the meaning of 2.3 bar? 2.3333 is going on. If it is 2.53 bar,
it's 5,
2.535353, all are following now?
Yes, sir.
If it is 7.68 bar, what does it mean?
8 will be also.
Yes, 7.6, only 8 only recurring. Agreed all of you?
Yes, sir.
These type of numbers are which numbers do you know? They are.
Irrational.
What is 1 by 3? Rational or irrational?
Rational.
Can you divide and find out? Can you get the decimal form of this one? Divide and find out. When you do that, then why do you tell irrational? Then it is irrational. Right? 1 by 3 is irrational. 1 by 3 is rational now. Confusion. Huh? So it is dividing 1 by, did you get 1 divided by 3? What did you get? 0.39 in 1 and 3. It is going on. That is equal to 0.333. It is going on non-stop. That is 0.3 bar. We know this is 1 by 3 is rational now. This is also rational. Okay. Okay, it is a rational number. I tell you what is the rational numbers. Okay. So you write in your notebook. Every rational number can be represented. Every rational number can be represented in fractional form. Can be represented in fractional form and decimal form. Okay. So what did you write? Every rational number can be represented in fractional form and decimal form. This is called which form? This is called which form? Decimal form. Now look here. Listen now. I'll tell you now. Your confusion is it irrational? Is it rational? Its equal thing is a rational only now. Rational cannot be irrational now. Understood? Same thing if I tell this one. If it is coming this way, let's say 11 upon 6. Rational or irrational? Rational. Why it is rational? P by Q, A by B4. We can, if I divide, what will you get over here? 1 sir. How much? 6. Remainder 5. So decimal comes 50. How much? 8 sir. 48. Remainder 2. 20. How much? 3 sir. 18. Remainder 2. 20. Therefore, 11 by 6 is same as 1.8333. It is going on, which can be written as 1.83 bar. Okay, this is again it is what recurring one. Okay, suppose instead of this one, if I write 11 by 5, when you divide, what do you get? 2 sir, 10, remainder 1, decimal. This is called terminating.
Sir, that is not.
This is not recurring. It is called terminating. How to identify this terminating? This is 10 become and 0 become. Okay. Okay. So now below next property right. every rational number is either a terminating decimal, or a recurring decimal, or a recurring RECU decimal. It is a terminating decimal or recurring decimal. What is the meaning of terminating decimal? Division stops. What do you mean by recurring decimal? Division does not, it is going on. Okay. Now I will tell what is irrational number next class. I will show the examples as well. Okay. That is all. Okay. Remember this one. Every rational number is either it is a terminating decimal. You can represent in two different forms. Which are two different forms? Fraction or decimal. If it is in decimal form, it is either terminating or recurring. You can identify which is terminating and which is recurring. If I write 3.5, if I write 3.5 bar, recurring. If I write 3.3333, recurring. If I write 3.33, terminating, stop. Dots if I put means recurring. Are you following or not?
Yes,
sir.
Okay. Now, time is getting over. Everyone is packing. Oh, what is the time? 8:35 lecture. It's on now.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. Homework.
What is that?
No need. In this book. You want to make a new book?
No, sir.
Write out new. I said no. One book is done. If those who wanted to make a new book, not right. Okay. School, I am not doing what other people. Okay. Write the decimal form of decimal form. Means divide and break. Okay. First one. 3/8. Second one. Decimal form of questions. 11/7. Third. 3 is enough, no? One more I should. Simple things. Division and divide. You know how to find the decimal form, no?
Yes, sir.
So don't copy from anyone. Copy yourself. There is a calculator there, no? Don't use the calculator. Don't do it homework. Please don't. Okay. Do 5 minutes, not even 5 minutes for now. Next class we will do. Then we will start with what are irrational numbers. Then we will start with exercise finding rational numbers. This all followed what is it? Yes or no? Difficult or easy, na?
Yes.
This way it will be mathematically easy only. Huh? Doubt it will be easy, no? Hey, we will make easy, na? Don't do. Okay, chalo, bye. Good night. Bye bye. Our parents will be waiting for you. Then mom will be there, na? Or you go yourself. Chalo, bye bye. Go bye.
Sir, bullying after. You're going to be looking. But you're not going to be.
No, wait,
Yeah,
what
is
is it behavior?
You think.
What is it behavior? What is it behavior?
8:26 or 7:28. Then my late time. But yes, it we said late time. It is behavior. It is late time.
Recurring numbers नहीं हो गया रे.
You can